Okay, this is lesson 3.2, solving equations having like terms and parentheses. First, I want to start off with some steps. Sometimes we have to simplify before we can solve. To solve, just as a reminder, means to actually find the value of x. We're seeking the value of x, so therefore we're solving the equation. Before you do anything, look to see if you have any parentheses where you can distribute. Always distribute if you see parentheses first. Do that first. Second, collect the like terms if you are able to. If there are like terms, get them together first. That's what you do after the first step, obviously. Third step, then you solve, meaning find the value of x. So here's our first example. I know that I can distribute because we have 7 times the quantity of 3 minus x, meaning that I can actually distribute this, and that is exactly what I need to do first. So first order of business is to distribute. So I'm going to rewrite this line over again. Negative 21 equals 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times negative 1x, remember the 1 is always there when you don't see it, would be negative 7x. Always distribute first. Second step, collect the like terms if you can, meaning if they exist. 21 is a regular number it's a constant without a variable. Negative 21 is in the same category, so we need to get these terms together. And in order to do that, I have to do the inverse operation. 21 is currently being added, so I need to subtract 21 from both sides. Okay? And so this cancels out. Negative 21 and negative 21, the signs are the same, so we add. That'll give us negative 42 equals negative 7x. Now we need to solve for x, meaning get x by itself. And in order to do that, we have to use the inverse operation. X is being multiplied times negative 7. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we need to divide both sides by negative 7. And once we've divided both sides by negative 7, negative 42 divided by negative 7 will be a positive 6. So therefore, x equals 6. It's really important that you remember to check your solution as well. So we go back, negative 21 equals 7 times the quantity of 3 minus 6. We need to see if we'll get a true statement. So bring everything down. Do what's in the parentheses first. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. So 7 times negative 3. That's what I have there. Negative 21 equals negative 21. It checks out, so we know we did the problem correctly. On to our second example. So your first step is to look to see if you can use a distributive property. There are no quantities, so we can go to our next step. Let's combine our like terms if we can. And so I have a term with an n right here, one here. I have a number by itself here and a number by itself here. Here are our like terms. We need to get them together on the same side of the equal sign. The 5.2n and the 0.8n are already both on the left side of the equal sign, so they're already on the same side. Just need to get them together. And let's do that one first. 5.2 plus 0.8 would be 6.0n. So I'll have 6.0n plus 47 equals 377. Now I need to get this 47 over together with this 377, and in order to do that I have to use the inverse operation. Since 47 is being added, we're going to subtract 47 from both sides. I'll just write it as 6n equals. So 377 minus 47 give us 330. In order to solve for n, meaning get it by itself, we have to use the inverse operation. Since right now n is being multiplied times 6, we would need to divide both sides by 6. And that will give us, and we should always check our solution. Always remember to substitute the value back into the original to make sure you end up with a true statement. Let's go on to our third example here. I see that this negative 2 is being multiplied times this quantity. I know it's being multiplied because there's no other symbol in between. So first thing that I need to do is to use the distributive property. So I'm going to multiply, or excuse me, I'm going to distribute negative 2 here and there. So let's bring everything else down. So I have 5x minus 2x plus 2. Negative 2 times a negative 1 is a positive 2 equals 8. The next step is to combine like terms. I have an x term here, an x term here. 5x minus 2x would be 3x. And then I got to get these two numbers together. In order to do that, I would need to use the inverse operation, so I would have to subtract 2 from both sides. And so then I would have 3x equals 6. And in order to get x by itself, I'd have to divide both sides by 3. And so that will lead me to the conclusion that x equals 2. And as usual, you need to remember to take the number, your answer, and please plug it back into the original to make sure that you end up with a true statement. Okay, fourth example. You want to organize a group of friends to go to a karaoke studio this Friday night. You must pay $30 to reserve a private karaoke room plus $5 for each person in the group. You also want to have snacks for the group at a cost of $2 per person. How many people can be in the group in order for the total cost to be $65? Even though I'm only asking you how many people, you do need to know how to actually write the equation. Sometimes that will be the question, to just write the equation. So let's go ahead and practice coming up with our model for this. First thing is they say that we have to pay $30 to reserve. So we know $30 is in the mix. Okay? Plus 5 for each person. So we don't know yet how many people, so plus $5 for each person, and we'll let the variable x represent the person. Okay, let's say it also says you also want to have snacks at a cost of $2 per person, so we have to add to that $2 per person. And so now the question is, how many people can be in this group in order for the total cost to be 65? Meaning that when we add all of these up, we need it to equal no more than $65. Okay, so here is our problem. Let's go ahead and combine our like terms, the 5x and the 2x. So then I'll end up with 30 plus 7x equals 65. We need to get this 30 over here with the 65. So in order to do that, I would have to subtract it from both sides since it's being added, leaving me with 7x equals 35. In order to solve for x, I have to get x by itself. Since it's being multiplied, I would need to divide both sides by 7. And therefore, I discover that x is 5, meaning 5 people. And always remember to substitute it back into the original to double check to make sure that you end up with a true statement. Thank you.